Hello, and welcome back to Imperfectly Perfect. Don't mind my hair, it's like it's time for them to come off. Anyways, this week I wanted to go ahead and talk about narcolepsy and automatic behavior, right? As we all know, automatic behaviors is not just for people with narcolepsy, but there is a higher percentage, let's put it this way, in people that do have narcolepsy. So, an automatic behavior is just a behavior that you kind of do without even being aware. It is purposeful, a purposeful task without any clear memory of having performed the task, right? So some of those examples can be driving, right? You have a location that you have to go, maybe you have a 30-minute, an hour drive or whatever it is, and you get from point A to point B, but you don't recall the actual driving, right? This can also be cooking, cleaning, uh, at work. I remember that's when I first started to notice that there was an issue, right? So it was kind of like a combination, let's put it this way, of automatic behaviors and blackouts because I literally had no recollection of it, right? And with the automatic behaviors, the first time that I noticed that there was an issue was when I had given a certain amount of injections at the place where I used to work at. And I remember what triggered me to do some search were that some of the patients that I had seen in the waiting room at that time were patients that I would normally give the injections to, right? So I used to work for an allergy and asthma office as a nurse, and injections were something just, part of your day. You gave over 100 injections a day. It was just the norm, right? So I remember seeing some of my patients that normally requested me. And I remember going back and I went to check who had given them their injection. So with allergy injections, you normally have to wait on average 30 minutes after an injection before you can go ahead and leave. And depending, every individual is different. We had some patients that had to wait longer. And I remember going in and checking a few of the patients. And then I saw that I was the one that had given the injection, and it freaked me out, right? Because I had no recollection of it. I remember going over to my supervisor and telling her, like, I just noticed A, B, and C, and I was freaking out because I was scared, right? I was scared that I had made a mistake in dosing. I was scared that maybe, with allergy injections, you can literally kill somebody. And it's like, with all jokes aside, but I remember going to her and telling her, like, look, I did all of these injections and I don't remember. I need somebody to double check my work. Like, I double checked it, but I still need somebody to go ahead and double check it. So the automatic behavior also came into play when I gave those injections, right? So I am a person who I'm used to routines. I like to do things in a certain way every single time. So when it came to giving injections at work, I had a routine, right? I did a certain amount of steps that became automatic. And again, I never realized any of this before. I was just called a control freak because of how I like to do things. But the automatic behavior, even though some people are like, oh, I wouldn't want that, we all have automatic behaviors that we do even without realizing it, right? But in my opinion, having those automatic behaviors in place really allowed me to work for as long as I did, really allowed me to do a lot of the things that unfortunately now I can't do, right? Like right now I can't go back to work because of it, right? But, I'm always grateful that none of those injections, there was no mistake or anything like that. But it was simply because of the automatic behavior, right? I would take a patient in, I would ask my questions, and, the drawing the can't even talk. I don't know why I'm so nervous right now. Probably because I haven't posted in a while. But drawing from the vial, the dosage and all of that, like how to check for the dosages, how to know what dosage to give next, etc. All of those became part of my automatic behavior when I was at work. So because of that, it saved me in the sense that there was a less of a chance of an issue, right? Less of a chance of a mistake. But at the same time, it also caused this fear and this anxiety inside of me that I was doing things without recalling, right? So if there was a new test that needed to be done, maybe something that we've never done before, I was always a little skeptical, because then I'm like, okay, there is no automatic behavior when it comes to certain things. And again, it was just something that I started to realize after I had been diagnosed. I had gone to a psychiatrist that they sent me to when I first applied for disability, which still hasn't gone through. It's been 4 years, but anyways, and he was telling me like how, because he was questioning me like how did I get as far as I did, right? I've been a nurse since 2008, and I went to school, I worked, everything, and I was always just tired, right? I never said I was sleepy, I was always tired, but the automatic behaviors took a lot of that working without being aware of it, right? So it kind of conserved my energy, you can say, throughout the day. But it's kind of scary, especially like, if I'm driving, right? I would drive from Connecticut to Jersey, and I've said this a lot before. And I would get on the highway, and next thing I know, I'm in Jersey, and I don't remember like passing and paying the tolls or anything like that, but I obviously did. But going from Connecticut to Jersey was something that I was so used to doing. There was a point where I would go like almost every weekend or every other weekend. So it's like my brain knew the way. My brain, I already know how to drive. I've been driving since I was 16. So it is those type of things that it actually helps you, but it also kind of can backfire, because then if you don't have recollection of what you're doing, then it's sometimes hard to be accountable for the things that you're doing, right? There's also, different things that I would do. I would wake up and make coffee, make my breakfast, and forget that I had done it. And when I would quote unquote like snap out of it and wake up, I would realize that certain things were already done, and I would just kind of like question myself like, wait, I don't remember doing that. But obviously I had done them. And it definitely causes, in my personal opinion, a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety, because you never want to put yourself or anybody else in danger. You never want to put yourself in a position where you can harm someone, right? Like the driving part, right? You don't want to be on the road thinking, oh my God, somebody's driving and doesn't even know what they're doing, or doesn't even realize that they're driving. And for the most part, for me, I never noticed, and I still don't to this point, what triggers it. Or like there is no sense or no feelings that I get before or during it or after it. The only thing is that I notice usually when I come out of automatic behavior, right? When it's like, wait, I have to do this, and then I'll go and get it started, and then realize that I did it. Sometimes that can be a couple of hours later. Sometimes that can be a few days or even weeks later. Because I do like to plan, and I like to organize. I keep calendars, and don't make fun of me, guys. I'm just like, ooh, right now. I think I need a nap. But because I keep calendars, right, and I keep lists, to-do lists and things like that, and I write them down, sometimes I would just automatically do things on my list and not realize it. And then when I go back to try and do my checklist, a lot of those things are already done. So in a way, it is a good thing, because it does save you a lot of time, and it saves you a lot of energy, right? But on the other side of it, it can also jeopardize you, right? So when it comes to cooking, let's put it this way. Right now, I'm home, so I tend to cook around the same time. And because I know where everything is, and everything is always in the same place, it just kind of like, I just start doing, and sometimes I forget. And that's when I'll forget, and I'll leave the stove on, right? And I'll go and do something else because I forget that I was cooking. So it's definitely that balancing out, and being more like doing little certain tricks, right? To be a little bit more aware. It's kind of like being aware within the episode, even if you don't realize that you're in an automatic behavior episode, where if I am cooking, I make sure now that I don't leave the kitchen, right? So I'll bring my phone and I'll play music or something like that, but it's almost like a checklist within itself when I'm cooking. And I've learned or realized, let's put it this way, that while I am cooking, I have to stay in the kitchen. There is no ifs, buts, or anything about it, because I burned plenty of things. And as much as I enjoy cooking, is something that I need to start paying a little bit more attention to, right? And it's just little adjustments that need to be done. When it comes to the cleaning part, I'm pretty okay with it. Like, I have certain times of the day when I like to clean certain things. Weekends I usually do, like, a deep cleaning and things like that, and it just kind of puts you in a flow where you just kind of go with it. So it's not so much that automatic behaviors are bad or good, is that they have their pros and their cons, right? They have their benefits, but they also can be life threatening depending on what it is that you're doing, right? So like in the case of work, in the case of driving, I could potentially like wake up within an episode as I'm driving and freak out because I don't remember getting in the car, right? I don't remember getting on the highway, and that can freak me out if it happens that way, which then can cause me to, let's say, lose control while I'm driving. And in the case when I was working, it did cause a lot of anxiety when it came around work. And thankfully back then, my supervisor, she worked with me, and we did things. I was doing things that was in direct patient care until I was ready to, well, until I went to the doctor to get my diagnosis, but that took even months to get. So it was that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys about automatic behavior, because a lot of people just think that it's, like little things, and it's actually really, it involves a lot of like the major things that we do on a day-to-day basis. And if you are, I do feel that if you are organized, and if you do like to-do lists, or you keep schedules, or you are a routine person, you're able to identify more, and some of those behaviors do become automatic just on themselves, right? Because like, let's say if you wake up every morning at 5 in the morning and work out, right? It's a routine that you build, so it becomes automatic. Where sometimes I would go through an entire workout and not even recognize that I worked out until I was like in the shower, and I was like, oh shoot, I actually worked out. And those little things like that, I feel when you're more of a going with the flow type of person, and you don't have like a structure or something like that, I feel that the automatic behaviors might be more of a shocking thing. They might have more of an impact in your life and how you feel and things like that. And I do believe that, your emotions, right? How you're feeling that day, how much rest you have actually gotten, not how much sleep, but how much rest you've actually gotten, does impact on how much of automatic behaviors, your episodes you're having, either throughout the day or throughout the week, because it really depends on where your energy level is at that moment. Well, I am going to pose a few questions to see what you guys, how you guys experience automatic behavior. And this can be, whether you have narcolepsy or not. Maybe you can identify some automatic behaviors, or, maybe you can identify how you feel before, during, or after an automatic behavior. But I was just thinking it would be something fun for us to interact. Let's just put it that way. Well, guys, thank you for watching, and thank you for all your love and support. And moving forward, I am trying to hold myself accountable to posting at least once a week. I definitely want to share more topics on things that go on a day-to-day basis, right? And how they can affect us, or anybody in general, on a day-to-day, right? Well, that is about it, guys. Take care. Mwah. Bye-bye. See you next week.